We're 4 friends who live across the globe
and share a love of Bon Appétit's YouTube channel.
So we came together to bring you our thoughts on what BA serves up.
And try our hands at recreating their dishes.
Welcome to Pod Appétit. Hey, it's Laura Jane. Oh, should I say LJ? Oh, should we start over? Sorry, I fucked that up. I think it's because I forgot the alphabet.
Yeah, L comes before M.
A, B, C, D.
Hey, I'm Amanda.
Hi, it's Justine.
Hello, it's LJ.
Hi, I'm Meg.
Woo! New podcast.
And together we are...
This is Pod Appétit. So what are we doing here?
Wow. The amazingly unscripted portion of our show. Hello, listeners. This is a new podcast that the 4 of us have decided to venture in doing called Pod Appétit, and it's a Bon Appétit fancast.
We should explain who we all are.
All 4 of us are members of the Lady Pod Squad.
Shout out. Whoop whoop.
So we are all podcasters already.
And we all share a healthy obsession with the Bon Appétit YouTube channel, as do, I'm sure, some of you that are listening.
And we all sort of organically came together after fangirling over gourmet makes and said, wait, we're all podcasters. We all like talking about this together.
What the world needs is...
Let's do this thing.
Yeah, so Pod Appétit was born.
Let's talk about our relationship to cooking.
I feel like I'm the odd woman out because I don't have a great relationship with home cooking. I'm pretty bad at it. But I really love Bon Appétit because I love watching people cook competently. And I really love like all of their personalities and everything. And as Meg said, like this all sort of started first when we were like obsessively, I mean totally normally watching gourmet makes. And every time I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I could never do this. I told you guys recently that early on in my relationship with my husband, I tried to make him grilled cheese and it notoriously was burned on the outside and not melted on the inside.
I don't even know how that's possible. I want you to recreate that.
High heat, I think is the answer. I don't know. He was just like, he ate it, God bless him, but he's never let me make another grilled cheese for us in the last 10 years. He's made every other one.
So we're going to teach Amanda how to cook over the internet.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, I think.
You guys are going to try. I can make no guarantees that this will turn out well.
So hi, this is Meg. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I have to thank my mom at the top of this episode for introducing me to the world of cooking. And so this is the part where I brag about my mom a little bit. She's an amazing amateur cook, and she enters recipe contests all the time. She's done it for as long as I've been alive. So basically a recipe contest is sponsored by a company, let's say a cheese company, and they say, make the perfect grilled cheese sandwich by creating your own original recipe using our pepper jack cheese. And then they'll judge those recipes and there's prizes. And so my mom has been in the Pillsbury Bake Off 3 times. She's met Paul Newman through a Newman's Own contest. She took me to Disney World, which was...
LJ and I both are shocked.
Yeah, LJ was very excited about Paul Newman.
I'm the exploding head emoji right now.
But yeah, so she also won a truck at one point.
And
she's just a great cook. Yeah, that's just a few of her accomplishments. But yeah.
So what is the pressure like on you?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. My mom has definitely, introduced me to her interests, and it was a chore of mine and my brother's to cook dinner every week since we were pretty young. And it's a great skill to have, and I'm so grateful for being able to know my way around a kitchen. I can follow a recipe. I would say that I'm a very competent cook, but I'm not really a creative cook in the way my mother is or in the way Bon Appétit is by developing their own recipes. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if I love the process of cooking, but I do love having cooked or baked something. It's really all about the end result for me.
That's how I feel about running.
Yeah. But But yeah, I want to have something that I've challenged myself with. Honestly, I want to impress people. I want to show up at that potluck with like a gorgeous cake and have people fawn over it, or at least over my photos of it on Instagram. So yeah, I'm very shallow in wanting acknowledgement and compliments on my cooking.
That's so amazing. I feel like you've done my like discussion about my dad. You've like shown me up, because I was just like, yeah, so my dad cooks. Over it. So I suppose I should say something nice about my dad. Yeah, the reason I cook is because really my mum and my dad both cook, but my mum always used to cook like it was like a chore that needed to be done every day. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so she was just like, I need to feed these people. Whereas my dad would cook on like special occasions or on weekends when he could really like put his like love into it. And I guess that to me is what sparked my love of cooking, but also my association with creating food for people as an act of love. So for me, when I have people over to dinner, or I even just cooking for like just me and my husband at home, it's me showing you that I love you. Do you know what I mean? It's like me being like, I've done this for you because I really care about you and want to show that through food. And like food is like the ultimate way I can show love to someone. Well, maybe not the ultimate way. But like it's a very big part of like how I express my affection for people. So I think that is definitely something I got from my dad, for sure.
Well, and you also do like a cooking club, don't you?
Yeah, I have. So me and a couple of friends, we are all into cooking, love doing it. I think it was about 3 years ago now. We were just having a discussion about the fact that we've got like so many cookbooks that we're never going to get through like using them for anything. Like we usually just buy them because we love food and cooking and read them, but then don't actually do anything with them. So we were like, maybe if we start like, instead of having like a book club, have a cookbook club where every month we take it in turns to pick one of our cookbooks that we've never cooked from and like make a 3-course meal for the other 2 and judge the cookbook, not the cooking. You have to be careful not to judge the cooking. It's like an accepted rule that we're all good cooks, and if anything goes wrong, it's the cookbook's fault for not explaining it properly. So we sort of judge the recipe, like how easy it was to follow, how worth it the end result was, how easy the ingredients were to find, like that kind of thing. And then we kind of mark each dish, and I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of the scores of what the best cookbooks are. But yeah, we've been doing that for 3 years. Yeah, I love a spreadsheet. If that's one thing you know about me, I love food and a spreadsheet.
I'm Justine. I live in LA and I'm vegan, so...
So we're going to be relying upon Justine to do vegan versions of Bon Appétit's recipes.
I'm excited to see how that turns out, because I know nothing about that being a huge meat eater.
Ooh, maybe we can do some collabs, LJ, and you can
could do a back-to-back.
Yes.
Ooh.
Let's see. I think I became fully vegan at the end of 2011. I had done like a 6-month journey of eliminating food items, and I definitely did it for like health reasons, because they were just foods that were not agreeing with me. A, became very happier with the newer diet, and B, I actually learned how to cook that way by becoming vegan, because when I left my home when I was 18, all I could do was microwave. And nobody taught me how to cook. And so just at first it was baking, because I don't know, I just really enjoyed doing that, I had found, because that's also something I never grew up doing. Learning the how to make things for other people but make them vegan has been the way to learn that I actually love baking. And now, and this year, I challenged myself to cook more with, I don't know how to explain this, because there are vegan items that you can get that are a lot of frozen things.
Yeah.
But then I wanted to start kind of making my own sort of things. Using the frozen items are easy, because I'm like, oh great, vegan crab cakes,
Yeah,
I don't have to like learn how to make an alternative thing.
Yeah.
But now I do want to learn how to make an alternative thing, instead of buying things which are more expensive and have like a lot more kind of the preservatives or more kind of soy base. I can control the ingredients.
Right, because it's the pre-made stuff.
Yeah.
So that's been my journey, like, so far this year, is venturing more into cooking. And I do have an erratic schedule as a filmmaker. So if I'm working on a film set, it's for a 12-hour day. So I do like things quick and easy. I am single, so as I was saying to the gals who are all married, I do need to grocery shop for myself, cook for myself, and clean up after myself. So another thing I want, quick and easy.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of classify myself as like the cheap and easy vegan, you know, but tastes great.
Yeah.
I think that's where one of my barriers is with cooking is like the patience. I don't know. I'm like, I just want to have it happen. I don't want to put the effort into it. Like, I know that sounds horrible, but it's just like, to me, I'm like, I would rather spend my time working on a podcast or watching a movie, usually for a podcast, or, you know, reading a book or going and spending time with I don't know. I just like, maybe it's like I need to readjust my thinking, but I'm like, oh, that time spent cooking could be spent doing something different.
I feel that.
Don't get me wrong, on weekdays, because I work full time, I want something quick and easy, like for sure. Like neither of us have got time to be faffing around in the kitchen for 3 hours. But on weekends, if I have a clear day, I love nothing more than blocking it out and just making something that takes like hours, like a really nice stew or a roast dinner or something like that. Sometimes I'll pop on some music or I'll pop on a podcast and just get into it, and it's almost meditative. Like it's just, I just find it so relaxing because there's no pressure. You've not got to do anything for a certain time. You've got all day, and it's just I find it quite therapeutic.
One nice thing about cooking regularly, I think, especially if you have sort of go-to dishes, is that it's like any other skill. The more you do it, the less time it takes, because you don't have to constantly reference the recipe, you know, little modifications, you know, little shortcuts. So yeah, it's definitely like working a muscle. And I would say I cook dinner at least 3 times a week, and it is a perfect time to listen to podcasts.
It is. It is a wonderful time to listen to podcasts. Like this one.
The other thing I'm doing for the past couple months is I'm not ordering out. So I am preparing food for myself every single night, pretty much.
Yeah.
If not, just eating the leftovers from preparing stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's
still,
great.
I haven't like completely eliminated like my favorite like pre-made foods.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
I still
fine.
need my comfort dishes.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Everyone needs like something that's easy just to make their life easier sometimes.
Yeah, like I'll eat mac and cheese a couple times a week. It's all good.
Oh, I make a great mac and cheese from scratch. That's what I do every New Year's Day. That's like a tradition. Yeah.
I also love mac and cheese.
I make a lot of boxed mac and cheese, but I doctor it up. Like, if that makes sense. Like,
Pimp it.
Pimp it.
Pimp my cheese.
Yeah. I think that shows you've got the makings of a cook in you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
we'll see what happens.
Okay, guys, I think we need to talk about BA.
Oh, yeah, we should.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I want to throw this to Meg because I found out about Bon Appetit through Meg.
Oh, so it's your fault.
Oh, wait, I introduced both of you to Bon Appetit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
In the recipe channel and the Lady Pot Squad Slack.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to dub myself the founder of Pod Appétit.
So, Meg, where you come from with Bon Appetit?
I really like what you said about how I introduced you, because my introduction to Bon Appetit was through a good friend of mine, and I feel like my relationship to Bon Appetit is very closely entwined with how I know this person and actually my previous job. So my former boss at a meal kit company was the one who introduced me to Bon Appetit, and it was a gourmet makes episode. I believe it was Claire Makes Cheetos, if I remember correctly.
Great episode.
So I loved the video, and it was also a time in my life where I really loved my job. So at this meal kit company, everyone I worked with, I really loved. We're still good friends. I'm meeting a handful of them this weekend, in fact, even though I haven't worked there for over a year now. So it was this food space, like the test kitchen, with a lot of people I really liked. So it was just sort of like Bon Appetit reflected my own experience. And actually, when I started at this meal kit company, I was an extension of the test kitchen. My first role was writing the so-called romance copy for the recipes. So the beautiful, tantalizing, delicious descriptions of what the dishes taste like.
I love those.
They were pretty fun to write, but the problem with that was that the test kitchen was actually over 1,000 miles away from my office.
Oh.
So I never actually tasted any of the recipes I was describing. So you can kind of see where that created some friction.
That's a perfect kind of torture.
Yeah, exactly. And also it maybe wasn't the most authentic end product what I was writing, because I was like, I'm going to guess that it tastes briny or that it has a nice sour note of lemon, even though I've never tried this dish before.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, long story short, I moved over to marketing full time. And you, dear podcast listener, I'm sure you know how much meal kits love to advertise on podcasts. And there's actually a really good chance that you've heard ad copy that I wrote. So that's kind of funny. But
Side note, we would be open to being sponsored.
yes, we would be. But so all my coworkers / friends really remind me of what I see on Bon Appetit itself. When I watch Bon Appetit, I kind of think of it as the office set in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So the
I've seen that a
personality-
lot
Yeah.
in YouTube comments.
It's really true. So the personalities really resonate with me, and that was kind of how I got into Bon Appetit.
I think I'm the same because I wasn't introduced to it via Meg. I'm the only one that wasn't. But I think my enthusiasm for it caught everyone's attention in the Slack. So I'm like the second in command co-founder of Pod Appétit.
If I remember right, I think that you were the one to suggest the podcast first, LJ.
Yeah, I did say the name first. I remember that. But yeah. I found out about it because my husband watches a lot of meal cooking YouTube, and they're always like on in the background, and I'll just kind of catch like a glance of it, or I'll overhear a bit and think, oh, is that channel again? But I didn't really pay attention until I saw he was watching a Claire Gourmet Makes episode, and I think it was the Snickers one about 18 months ago, and I was just like, oh my god, that's such a good idea for a video series, like trying to recreate snack treats. And I kind of got hooked. That was like my gateway drug into the rest of the VA like universe. But yeah, ever since then I've been like obsessed. And then when I can't remember who mentioned it on Slack first in the Lady Pod Squad Slack, but clearly Meg and I were just chatting up a right old storm, and Justine and Amanda caught wind of our enthusiasm.
Yeah, I had said, well, okay, I'll try it. I don't know, be too snooty to watch whatever food cooking YouTube channel, but just give me an episode, Meg. And then Meg put in the Slack the
Twizzlers, I think.
the Twizzlers for Gourmet Makes. So yeah, definitely watched like all of Gourmet Makes that weekend.
It's so addictive.
Yeah.
I think I was the first one to be like, okay, I'm done. And then I watched all of It's Alive, done, finished them all.
Well, that weekend, I remember texting Justine back and forth because I watched the Twizzlers video first, and I was like, oh man, that video that Meg shared is so great. Have you watched it yet? And Justine's like, no, I'm going to watch it later. And then she like lapped me like really, really quickly.
It's true. I'm like, why haven't you watched all 20 hours of this content yet?
And Amanda's like, because I have things to do.
I was like, I want to talk to my husband occasionally, but he's also become a fan of at least like Brad's videos and It's Alive at this point. But like recently I was finishing up like watching all of It's Alive, and my husband was like, I'm going to go to bed. I've got to change some laundry first. And he sat down and watched like 4 It's Alive videos with me instead. I was like, what happened to your laundry? And he was like, oh yeah, just hit play.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
That Twizzlers video was like the intro. And then I like to go in order because it's how my brain works. And I'm obsessive. And so, I mean, I'm normal. And
they're so good in order because
Yeah.
she develops and learns through all of them.
Yeah.
The reason I knew that our obsession had gone too far was when I willingly was excited to go to bed to watch a 50-minute video about cheese in the Perfect Pizza series. I was like, who does this? I was like, I do this. This is me now. I'm in. There's no going back.
Yeah, it's been definitely interesting. I feel like with reading a lot of the YouTube comments, a lot of people's gateway now is gourmet makes, and then they see Brad in the video, and Brad's goofy
Brad.
as fuck, and then they find his It's Alive videos and then watch those. I'm also like, well, I'm gonna watch these other videos, and then just seeing all the different personalities of everybody, and you know, they're not things that I would make or eat, you know, like pork shoulder, but I just like watching Carla, you know?
Yeah. I feel like they're all people I want to be friends with.
Yes. Well, it's like what Meg said about the whole idea of like them just being like coworkers that like get along together. Like it reminds me of when I worked at a bookstore, like a very large bookstore chain, and I haven't worked there in 5 years, but those are the coworkers I still like keep in touch with. And you know, it feels like that camaraderie going on.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
you feel like you're part of it almost.
Absolutely. It's like you are friends with them.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's just very interesting. Like, I feel like I definitely started watching them also as a filmmaker, kind of like dissecting them, because we see a lot of internet videos, especially on YouTube, where they are packaged personalities. And you're like, well, these guys are not that. I don't know how they came up with this idea, but it's pretty great. And especially like the editing of Matt. The editing is, I don't know, I'm reading a lot in the comments. People love the editing.
They do.
Yeah, the editing's great.
And not just of It's Alive. And I feel like the editing has started to bleed into the regular test kitchen episodes lately that are more quirky.
Yeah.
It blows my mind watching like the brand shift over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
To kind of just give the people more what they want.
Yeah.
Especially like lately, like literally they put up the 50-minute video of just them talking about the pizza, and the description was, you asked for it.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the beauty of YouTube, isn't it? You can just get that instant feedback versus like a regular TV show or a movie where you kind of don't know what people are going to think until it's out there and done. It's great that they've really embraced that aspect of it. Like, I think that's what makes for a successful YouTube channel, for sure.
Yeah, and I think Justine's point of how much it's changed from like when they started doing the It's Alive videos, because my evening hobby now has been like before I go to bed is to like go back into the archives, essentially, like all the way back in the YouTube channel, and basically just look for like the people that I like that are part of the test kitchen now. But it used to be, like Justine's talked to us about, it was just that very traditional, like, mostly just showing the hands, never really showing the person's face or personality. And it would be mostly, like, 2 or 3 minute videos that would be like, this is how you make a steak. This is how you frost a cake. Like, just very straightforward. And then it just, like, slowly, as I've been, like, going through, and I just got into, like, 2017, like, the way that, like, things feel looser. And it feels more to me like the way podcasting does, like the podcast that I enjoy listening to, where you're getting the personalities of the cooks and the personalities of everybody else in the kitchen. Because one of my favorite things to do when I'm watching an episode, you know, whether it's Gourmet Makes or From the Test Kitchen or whatever it is I like looking behind them and seeing like all the other people that I know and what are they up to in the background.
Like, oh, Chris is there. Yeah. Yeah, it's
There's
funny.
Andy waiting for a taste of food.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
seeing them all
gosh.
hover about. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm a totally normal amount of obsessed. It's fine.
So we were thinking something fun to do would be to assign all of us there be a test kitchen personality, but we can't pick our own. The other 3 have to
Because we're
pick
not
it.
obsessed at all.
No.
Right. Nope.
You can't pick your own. No, you have to be assigned it. It has to be bestowed upon you.
It's like a nickname.
Yeah.
This should be interesting because we might, have to debate and figure out what we think the ultimate choice is. But
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and say that we had kind of already talked about how LJ is the Brad of the group.
Yes.
Yep, LJ's the Brad.
Why do you think that? Is it because I don't pronounce words properly?
No.
No, it's because you're hilarious.
Like Brad's from
and-
Texas. Is he from Texas?
Because you're a live wire and you don't stop talking.
You have
Yeah.
great stream of consciousness.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I'm taking
Yeah.
all of this as compliments. Obviously, Brad is the best one. So, yeah.
I mean, in my humble opinion, he's the most handsome, as you three know my obsession with how hot I think Brad is.
I am happy
That's
to
true.
take on the mantle of most handsome member of Pod Appétit.
Will you start wearing a beanie for us all the time?
Yes.
But he calls it a weird name that makes no sense to me.
I think he'd make it up. He makes it up. He makes up a lot of words.
He makes up a lot of words.
That's true.
He does have his own vocabulary.
Yeah.
Warder.
So, okay. So that's me sorted.
Who do we think Meg is?
Yeah. Meg.
Meg is like, I feel like Meg is a combination between like
Ooh.
Chris Morocco
Yes.
and Rick.
I was going to say Chris as well. Why were you going to say Chris?
Because I don't know, and I just know this from listening to Meg's podcast. You're very like exact in what you say. I mean,
Yes.
like you're a writer,
Yes.
you know. And
Very
Chris is also
thoughtful.
very exact.
Yeah.
But I also said Rick because you're fabulous.
I think Chris for sure, because like he's very methodical and you are always very like well structured in how you think about things. And are you a super taster? Because that could perfectly like
Not
work
as far
both.
as I know.
Well, I think Chris for sure, and like I'm sure a splash of Rick as well.
Well, thanks. I take that as a high compliment. I guess now I need to have a really strong opinion about tempering chocolate, though.
I was going to ask, what do you feel about chocolate?
I demand that it be tempered. That's my new stance on chocolate. I never had one before, but I do now.
Tempered, of course.
Cool. So we got 2 down. I think. Oh, I'm trying to think who else. I don't know why, but Amanda gives me like Carla vibes. Carla, she knows what she's doing the whole time. Always seems like in control, like even when things are going wrong. And I feel like Amanda gives me those vibes. Like she'll just take control of something.
Carla is Mama Bear.
Yeah, like
I
that
agree.
kind of thing. Yeah. When nobody else knows what to do, Carla knows what to do, and so does Amanda.
I've been called a mom since like high school, so that makes sense.
Oh, actually, that really works too, because through our detective skills, we decided that Carla was the one who said no mushrooms on the pizza.
And Amanda doesn't like mushrooms either.
Amanda hates mushrooms.
I do love mushrooms. That was really hard for me to watch that the perfect pizza had mushrooms. I was like
Yeah.
really rooting for the meat. Sorry, Justine. So who do we think Justine is?
Oh.
I can't be defined.
No, we're going to give you someone. I kind of want to say you remind me of Gabby
Okay.
in that she's like, she's always popping up when you need her. Do you know what I mean? Like she always knows where stuff
You
is
at
and
least
like
expect it.
gets things done. But like she's also like really like free spirited and like runs around like a little fairy. Like I get that vibe from you. I get like that like free spirited like I like what I like and I'm just gonna do what I want, but also like, oh, you need a dehydrator, here you go. You need a whatever
Problem
here.
solver.
Like, I can do it. Yeah.
Do you two agree?
Any advance on Gabby?
You're more of a mix? Like I can see like a dash
Ooh.
of Gabby, a pinch of Claire.
I know, I'm having a hard time pinpointing this.
Like, I feel like it's hard to pinpoint just one. I feel like I'm definitely feeling like the free spirit of Gabby, but I don't feel like that fully lines up with you. I feel like you have a little side of something else in there.
I think what I would say, I guess we're going to have to come to some sort of consensus, but I would say 75% Claire, 25% Molly. And
Oh, yeah.
I think I would go with Claire because she is very technically oriented. One thing I love about Gourmet Makes is that it's a combination of analytical and creative. And
Yes.
even just hearing Justine talk in this episode alone, we can see that she's a very creative person with a very technical background, and that informs a lot of your approach to creative endeavors. So I see that part of Claire. And I guess the Molly is just what I like about Molly is that she has very strong opinions, and and she'll be like, I love this. Here's why. If you don't love it, you're wrong. And I feel like that's kind of a passion that Justine brings to, like, look at these cookies I made. Not that I don't think Justine would ever say you're wrong to not agree with me, but I think you would be like, these cookies are amazing, and I put sour cream in them, and it's so good. You got to trust me on it.
Yeah. I see that. I really like the description you gave of why Justine is like Claire. Like, I really, you made a good argument for that, for sure.
That's true. I do have a high technical background.
Yeah.
It's like the creative and the technical combined into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, Claire has cool hair and Justine has cool hair.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I almost said that, but I didn't know if it was okay.
Oh, wow. So that's all sorted out.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
God.
I needed to know. Like, it was keeping me up at night.
I was just going to say, so our final cast, I guess, is Claire, Brad, Carla, and Chris on our podcast team. And also, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you threw some Rick in there, because I think that he has some of my favorite recipes from the test kitchen.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
See, I knew you were a splash of Rick. Okay. Let's tell the people what our podcast is going to be like in the future, because this was just a little amuse-bouche.
Yeah. It's a canapé, if
cooking
anything.
term.
I mean, I watch BA, so.
That's enough. That's all you need to know.
So what are our episodes going to be like in the future, and what do we hope to do with this podcast?
Well, obviously we want to be discussing as much of the YouTube content that they put out on BA as possible. So that's going to be our like anchor. So we're going to be releasing bi-weekly discussion episodes on the YouTube content from the BA YouTube channel. But sprinkled on top, like salt on a pork loin, we're also going to be doing little bonus episodes here and there on an ad hoc basis, where each of us individually will take on a recipe, try to do something that the BA people have done on the YouTube, and see if we can recreate it ourselves or improve it in whichever way we see fit. So, for example, Justine's gonna veganize things.
I mean, BA does have a bunch of their own vegan recipes as well.
They do. But yeah, I'm interested to see like what else you can vegan magic yourself through.
I'll do my best. I do think that I'd like to maybe go beyond that as well, using that as like a stepping stone to discover or dive into what our own likes and interests are. What people don't know about Meg is that she's an amazing beekeeper.
I hope to be an amazing beekeeper. I'm more like trying and failing at beekeeping at the moment, but goals.
Right. So like It's Alive with Brad, he did the honey episode.
You did. Another thing you may not know about me is that I have a minor salt obsession. I have over 29 different kinds of salt, but I never use them for cooking. So I thought, well, I might actually find recipes in which to use these salts. So, you know, things like that.
Well, and I think we've also just sort of thrown it out there. There might be some special like Thanksgiving or like holiday things at different times.
I'm really looking forward to their Thanksgiving content and trying some of that, because fun fact, even though I'm not American, I have lived in America, and ever since I came back 10 years ago, I've made Thanksgiving dinner every year since for my family. I always do it every year, and I'm excited to Bon Appétit that shit this year.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you guys.
Yeah, that's going to be really
Oh,
fun.
yeah. I'm looking forward to like regular Bon Appetit dates with you all.
Yeah, I'm really excited to share our reactions with the Bon Appetit videos. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we can share it with the world rather than just with each other.
So stay tuned for our first reaction episode coming up very soon.
Thanks for listening to Pod Appétit, a Bon Appétit fancast.
We'd love to hear from you, so find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at pod_appetit.
And on Facebook at Pod Appétit Podcast.
You can also email us at podappetitpodcast@gmail.com and find all of our episodes on our website, podappetitpodcast.com.
Until next time, the test kitchen is closed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Grimm, a podcast for the miniature folklorist and teller of tales. I'm Kayla Knight. In each episode, I will take you on a brief but enlightening journey into some of our most well-beloved or little-known tales from around the world. In 30 minutes or less, we will explore the background of a theme or topic, along with a couple of narrative tales to accompany it. Each episode is released on a fortnightly basis, with companion episodes on off weeks filled with the stories that take you further into the theme for the episode. There is something for everyone in every episode. Whether you love Cinderella or Santa Claus, Snow White or the Big Bad Wolf, the world of tales you thought you knew is infinitely bigger and more complex. Check out Get Grimm on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.